has it? It's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Redoing another classic video of mine that I did ages ago. This is one of my earliest videos I did. Well, songs I taught on YouTube was Inner Sandman, of course, because it's a monster hit classic, one of the greatest bands of all time. So it's one of the first ones I did. But of course, we're updating all these old videos. Those old videos were shot in many, like this video I think was originally shot in like 18 different parts. So like 18 different videos. It looked like it was filmed by Abraham Zapruder. It was not great. So we are redoing it all in one video, bringing the video quality up to par and stuff. So I'm going to be going through all of Inner Sandman here today in this lesson, from all the riffs, the fills, the solo, everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before I get into it though, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring the notification bell so you know when I release a new video. And you know, like and comment on the videos, it really helps. And if you're willing to comment on what other videos you want to see me redo, some of my older content that looks pretty, you know, archaic, let me know which ones you want me to tackle first, because I'm starting to kind of take care of some of those every week or two. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube, go over to my Guitar Academy. You'll actually see a link to it in the description below. That link will give you a free 7-day trial of my Guitar Academy, which contains all my courses. You get full access to all the courses with just one subscription. My academy contains all my courses covering everything from complete beginner courses to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. It's available on the web, all the major mobile and TV app platforms. So it's all there for you in just one subscription. And you get you know, a live video chat with me with just Academy members and me every Saturday, and personal support from me beyond that as well. So please check it out and get your free trial below. All right, let's jump into the song. So we're going to start here with this little clean intro. Here we go. So pretty cool. Now Kirk has a little wah thing that comes on over this. I'll show you that in a second. So we're going to start here, and how James fingers this, we're going to have the open E string. We're in standard tuning, by the way. Open E string, and then we have the 7th fret there on the A string, and then the 5th fret there on the D. Some people say he's hitting the G string and letting it ring throughout this riff, which it sounds like that, but I think it's just the tone that he's using in the studio. Whenever you see him play this live, from the era that this was recorded into this day, he plays it exactly like this. Just doesn't go past the D string. So it doesn't sound bad, but I think it sounds more uniform this way. So open E, then the 7th fret with his pinky here on the A string, and then the 5th fret with his middle finger here on the D string. So you're going to pick across those 3 strings, starting from the low E to the A string, and then the D string. Now, why is he playing it with that finger? Well, now he's going to do the on the low E string with the 6th fret with that ring, with your ring finger, followed by the 5th fret there on the low E string with your index finger. So you needed those 2 fingers available. He's trying to let all the notes ring as long as possible. So we have, and then you're gonna pick just in that riff here at the back on the A string. You're still holding that 7th fret, so you just pick the A string again. So we have this, and then when you do that, it starts over the whole thing. So he's going to play this quite a few times in the song. Now over this, Kurt comes in, kind of a clean setting too. You have to just kick in some wah pedal here. So he's playing the same chord basically. You can just play it like this now, because he's not doing the rest of the riff. So it's just that open E string, 7th fret on the A, and 5th fret there on the D. And so it's 7th fret on the A, 5th fret on the D. All the other strings, the low E and the top 3 strings, are all open. You just strum across them and just kind of rock the wah pedal back and forth. All right, fun stuff. All right, from there, we're gonna go into the rhythm. So this is when the intro, the heavy rhythm parts kind of kick in. And there's two parts going on here too. One is the obvious main one, like the one that I played earlier at the intro of the video. And then there's another one that's being played with it, which is a little bit lower in the mix, which we'll cover too. So we have this main intro, which is all right, so we're gonna start here with this, hitting that low E power chord hit. Then just kind of steady eighth note feel, downstrokes muted on the low E string. And this is a kind of a big build-up section. The outro section is gonna be pretty much the reverse of the intro section. So learning this, you're kind of gonna learn the outro too. So you're just hitting that. And you're going to start out by just sliding into the 7th fret on the A string and then going back to the low E hit. So it's kind of done 4 times, and then we start building it a little bit. And so when you do the slide now, it's going to be 2 notes. So you're going to want to slide with your your middle finger. You could have been doing that the whole time, didn't matter. But this time you're going to slide to the 7th fret on the A like before, but then catch the 6th fret there on the low E string. And we're going to add the 1st fret power chord, this F power chord, there at the end of it too. So that's just going to be 1st fret on the low E, 3rd fret there on the A, and then back to the open E. So it is. Repeat that. All right, so a lot of times you'll see sometimes James, when he plays this, he kind of pulls off the chord. And so he plays his power chords like I do, which is with the pinky here, for the index and the pinky. So he's got his his middle finger in the middle. He can just pull off to the open bar. But that's kind of... So we basically, after you're doing that 4 times, we add now another note to the riff, and we play this kind of twice as long. It's still sliding to the 7 on the A, so now you're going to want to probably do it with your ring finger, because then you can play 6 on the low E and 5 on the low E. It's still catching that F power chord. So all together for the, what I call the main heavy intro riff, there is another part we'll take a look at in a second. So all right, now going over that, especially as we get through a little bit later on, in it where he gets to the part where he's doing 2 notes in the riff, we have this. So we have, like, you can just say Kirk's playing this part or whatever, but he's kind of having a low E. Just kind of lets it ring. And then, so it just kind of goes over, hits the open A string a couple times. Open A power chord, I'm sorry. And then back to the low E string. And then when he starts doing the 3-note version of the riff, he goes. So they're not doing this very aggressively and it's lower in the mix. It kind of just. So you can kind of hear that just kind of in the if you listen for it. I don't know how much they play it live, but it. Kind of helps build to the main riff. And then we get to the actual main riff, where they're both coming in and playing the same thing together. All right, so that's just open E power chord, letting everything ring initially in the riff. No palm muting. Open E a couple times. So that's a slide to the 7th fret there on the A again, and then 6, 5 on the low E string. Some heavy vibrato. And back to the open E hits. Just kind of repeating that a little bit. So after you've repeated that 3 times, then we go to. So that's going to be the power chord here at the 3rd fret, not palm muted first. So the G power chord off the low E string. And then, start adding the palm muting, which is going to be the open E string by itself. Then the 2nd fret power chord, back to the open E power note. So. And then they go 2nd fret power chord, the F sharp power chord, back up to the G, and back down to the F sharp. And when he starts doing that, he starts letting up the palm muting a little bit less. Then we start over. All right, so that's the main riff, and then we get to the verse, which is kind of a variation of that main riff. All right, so pretty simple for Metallica, definitely. So it's the open E hit first. Just then there's a steady 8th note palm muted hits on the low E string. So anyway, so we have this that F power chord hit again, and then back to the so we have this F, F, then that same tail that we put on the ending that we had from the main riff, and back, F, F, same ending. So it's just basically that riff done twice, and then we get to the pre-chorus, which is really cool. I love this riff. So this is now moved up to F sharp here. We're going to be playing the 2nd fret there on the low E string, and then the 4th fret there on the D, over to the 2nd fret there on the G. Then 3-2 on the A string. And then back to this F sharp here that's at the 4th fret on the D string. So with this. And when you get back down here, just kind of repeat the riff. And then we get to the actual chorus. Now the chorus here we have Kirk going up and doing some fills, you know, in parts of it. But other than that, he's staying with James here with the actual riff. So when he's not doing his fills, he's playing the same riff as James is down here. So it's pretty simple. We have just this F sharp power chord at the 2nd fret of the low E string. And then you're going to jump over to this C power chord, which is at the 3rd fret of the A string. So power chord off the 3rd fret of the A. And kind of move down to this 2nd fret there on the A string. I kind of like to slide it down 1 fret to the B power chord. So it's so after you've done it 3 times, you hit the low E, let that ring. That's when Kirk jumps up and does some fills. And then we go back to the riff one more time. And back to that low E hits. Open E, just let that ring while Kirk does some more fills. And then we have this same kind of ending that we had in the main riff and in the verse. So all together. All right, so Kirk is playing pretty much the same riff, but over when he does that, when James has the open E hit, lets the open E chord ring, he jumps up and plays some fills. So let me play Kirk's version of the chorus. All right, so that's those fills. So when it hits that E, you can hit the E power chord and just jump up. So that's going to be, you're really kind of palm muting this A string here. So we're gonna pick the 5th fret there on the D, and then to a muted 7th fret on the A string. So the top note's the one being accent, it's the melody. And then we're going to move that top note now to the 7th fret on the D, and back to that muted 7th fret there on the A. And then we're going to move over here to the 4th fret on the G, and the 5th fret there on the D string. So, and now over the 2nd E, open E power chord, letting it ring, and we have that. So this is all going to come back to the 7th fret on the A string, but the melody note's going to be this 4th fret there on the D string, back to that 7th fret on the A, then the 5th fret on the D, back to the 7th fret on the A, and then the 7th fret on the D. So it's a 4, 5, 7 on the D is what's moving. Then. All right, from there we go back to the main riff, which has a little bit of fill section. It's the same main riff, but we just have some quick little fills by Kirk here. So it looks like this. So that's going to be some double stops here at the 12th fret on the G and the B. And then over to the 14th fret there on the D. And then we go back to the 12 across the G and the B. Up to 14 on the G and the B. Pick that a couple times. Obviously I have a wah pedal going with this. Pull back off to the 12s. So after you pull up to the 12s, go back down to the 14 on the D. After you get that 14 on the D, we go back to the 12s. So then you get back up to the 14s and do a slow bend. Okay, you just pick it. You pull them up. And you're going to end it with this 12th fret across the B and the high E string. All right, and then we're back to the verse section. And the verse, so it's the same verse riff as before. But in this second verse, you have Kirk once again. He's kind of a continuation of the fill he did in the main riff there. It's just with a wah pedal too. I won't kick the wah in this time. So it's just back to the double stops to the 12th fret. So you hit those like 3 times across the B and the G, the 12th fret. And then down to the 14 on the D. So that's the fill that happens in the second verse. And then everything's the same riffs going on underneath in the verse as in the first verse. Same pre-chorus. And then same chorus. That one, that fill. So same thing that we did before. And then we get to the actual solo section. So this one's a lot of fun. It's it's just like a legendary solo here. So I'm gonna play through it real quick, but before I do, the solo, if you want to know what it's over the main riff played a couple times, then the pre-chorus riff, and then the chorus riff. So it's just under riffs that we've already covered before. So that's what's going on underneath the solo. Main riff, and then the pre-chorus riff, and then the actual chorus riff. All right, so let me play through the solo for you real quick. Then I'll show you how to play it note for note. So here we go. All right, so that has got some fun stuff in it. So let me cut some of these effects off of it here for you. I'm gonna do this without the wah when I'm showing it. Obviously, you know, wah's going on, and you just gotta rock the wah pedal with go along with the phrasing of the licks. So we're gonna start here though with this. So this is an oblique bend. An oblique bend is when you have one note that is moving and the other one is staying put. So you're gonna play the 15th fret there on the B string, and you're gonna play the 14th fret there on the G. So you play those together, and you just bend the one on the G string up. Then release that bend, pull off to the 12th fret, and then back up to a couple of bends there on the 14th fret there on the G string. With some pretty heavy vibrato. And then back to the oblique bend. So kind bend it a couple times, release, down to the 12th fret on the G, and then into a big bend on the 15th fret on the B string. A couple of them, so wait. A couple of bends there. All right, then we have some octaves. So this is a G octave starting. So this is the 10th fret there on the A string and the 12th fret on the G. So make sure you're muting all the other strings. So you just hit them all and all you hear is those two notes. So you pick that octave, slide up 2 frets to the A octave. So the 12th fret there, 12th fret being your index finger is the one that's at the 12th fret. So this just kind of goes along with it. So that's at the 14. So if you slide up, pick it 2 more times, and then pick it again, and slide down, and pick it twice there. So we kind of repeat that. From there, we have this. So that's going to be pulling off 14 to 12 on the G. Over to 14 on the D. Then kind of the same thing again, but on the lower string. So we have this pull off 14 to 12 on the D, over to 14 on the A. And then this right here is going to be pulling off 14 to 12 again, but then down to the 10th fret there on the A, over to the 12th fret on the low D. When you get to that 10, you slightly kind of add a little flexion and kind of slightly pull it downward. All right, from there we have this. All right, so we're gonna start this with. He's doing a series of unison bends here. What's kind of he's bending up to a note that he keeps holding here at the 12th fret of the high E string. So you're gonna bend at the 15th fret there on the B string. And then you have the same note you're gonna play a few times on the high E string. So you're gonna kind of repeat that. And obviously, you've got these really rocking the wah pedal. And then from here, so here we're gonna just kind of be going from the 15, pull off to 12, and then go over to the 15th fret there on the B string. So then you're going to slide that 12 up to the 14th fret here. So I have this. And from here, so this is pretty succinct. He plays it the same way, kind of the same pattern going up. So here we're going to be pulling off 17 to 14 on the high E string, over to 15 on the B. So you're going to repeat that twice. And then you're going to end the pattern with a pull off from 17 to 14 on the high E string. So it's an 8-note pattern. Then you're going to move up, slide up here, and you play the same pattern now, but the notes are going to be 19, pull off to 15 on the high E string, and then 17 on the B. So the same pattern there. So it's those initial 3 notes repeated twice, and then the top 2 notes pull off to make it an 8-note phrase. So, and then we do the same thing, slide up 1 more fret, and we're going to have 2 more frets to the 17th fret, and you're going to play the same pattern here, but the notes will be 21 on the high E, pull off to 17, over to 19 on the B string. So you play that same 8-note pattern there. And then end it with a bend at the 22nd fret on the high A string. All right. So you just kind of mix it up when you're done. You can do the same pattern, the 8-note pattern there, just repeat it twice. Actually, it'll sound good. So maybe we'll do the same pattern there too. Anyway, so from there we have this. All right, so that's gonna be starting with some double stops again that are bent. We're gonna, the 9th fret on the G and the B. So you bend it like 4 times. So you're just holding those 9th fret across the D and the G and the B. Then 7th fret on the G, over to 9 on the D. And then, so that's going to be a hammer on from 7 to 9 on the D, to 7 on the G, from after you get 7 on the G to 10 on the high E string, that's the note that you kind of up 10 on the B string. So kind of let that sing for a second. Then we have this whole descending line, which is pretty quick. So that's going to be, it's going to start with that, which is going to be 10, 8, 7 on the B string, over to 9 on the G, and then a quick hammer pull between 7 and 8 on the B string, back to the 9th fret on the G, and then back to that 7 on the B. And then you're going to play 9, 7 on the G and D. And then you kind of play those notes again, 4 notes again, the 9 7s again. So it is. Then jump down here to the 7th fret on the A string and play 7, 9 here. Just a little warbled here. Warbled, is that a word? It's probably not a word. So we have 7, 9 on the A string, and then 9, 7 on the D. Kind of sounds like he's doing that. And then he does a little blues thing at the very end. It's really heavily kind of palmied. And it's wild all over the place, so it's kind of hard to pick it up. But we have, after that, just go 9, 8, 7 on the A, to 5 on the A, over to 7 on the low E string. So it is. All right, next phrase. All right, so that's, you're gonna do a bend at the 16th fret there on the G. Now this one's kind of, you wanna make it sound kind of spunky, you know? So we're gonna, it's not, you kind of, when you get up to the top of the bend, kill it. And then play 14 on the G, back over to the 16 on the D, and then back to the 14 on the G. So it's kind of, so And then at the end of it, so more oblique bends here, but it's just 2 frets higher than the one we did before. But you're gonna pick the note on the G string, the 16th fret, bend it up a whole step, and then add that note on the B string. Now, if you have a floating trim system like what this one does, it's kind of hard to get that. When you're doing it in the middle of the song, it doesn't stick out that much. But when you're here, you hear that pitch drop. It's not going to be perfect. But you will pull the other B string out of tune if you're doing a bend, if you have a floating trim system, like Kirk does. So after you do that, pick the G string, bend it up, and then pick the note on the B string at the 17th fret. Like 3 times, and then pick them together. It's in whammy bar. And then we have this phrase. So what's going on here is you have all the way at the 21st fret, pulling off to 17, and then the open high E string. Just like that. And then up to a bend at the 22nd fret, a few of them. And you can pick it a few times at the top of the bit. All right, and then we have the end of the solo, which looks like this. All right, so this right here, we're back in this little 7th position here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna play 10, pull off to 8 on the B string, 10, pull off to 8, pull off to 7, over to 9 on the G. So that's a little 4-note descending lick. The next one's gonna be a 3-note descending lick. So starting now from where we ended, that 7th fret there on the G, it's just gonna pull off 9 to 7 on the G, and then over to 9 on the D. Over that 9 on the D. It's a little 3-note. For 4 notes, then 3 notes. Then here, we have another 4 notes, and this is gonna be, if you listen to the recording really close, he pulls off 9 to 7 on the D, then quickly to the open D string, and then on to the 5th fret there on the D. You hear that open D string in there. Or this. From there, you're gonna slide from 7-9 on the D over to the 7 on the A string. Let that ring. And then just jump back to the 5th fret and do a quick little hammer. 5 to 7, pull back up to 5. Slide down to 4 on the A. And then just letting that ring pull off to the open string and hammer on the 2nd fret there on the A. And then while you're letting it ring, just kind of adds a little kind of rhythmic bar dives. So we have this. All right, now from there we go back to the clean section that we did in the intro, so nothing new there, really, just kind of. Remember that? It's been a long time since we looked at that. All right, and then from there we go straight to the pre-chorus, which is the same as before, pretty much. You keep this. But it's when it goes, just do this, you'll hear another guitar come in. You still have one doing this, another one building up that F sharp power chord. and then into the same chorus. And it's kind of, it is kind of like an extended chorus there. And then they, so as you know, you probably know the song, but it's the same fill. So it's just like it kind of repeats. It kind of goes halfway through, stops, and then just repeats the whole chorus again. So, and then we're back to the same main riff. After that chorus, and all that stuff, at least live. Back to the main riff. Kind of extend it. Then we get to the outro section. Just think of the outro section. There's some fills going on, like little clean guitar fills in the background as it's fading out. I'm not going to cover those. But the actual, what's going on in the intro, the outro is the intro reversed. So not actually like a reverse effect. It's just, and you know how we built up, we started. Kind of did one note and we just kind of held in the low E string. And then when we went to two notes, we started adding that F. And then we took the three notes. So it's all that reverse. So we start now in the outro section with just what's going, take my hand. It starts with a three note version to the end. Then goes to 2. Then 1 without the F. So just kind of reverse it. All right, so you kind of know it, just got to reverse it. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this brand new redo of the Inner Sandman lesson that I did ages ago. Hopefully it puts everything together a little bit more concisely and looks a little better and sounds a little bit better. So I hope so, at least. Anyway, let me know which ones you want me to see. You want to see me redo next. I'll jump on it. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.